what's up guys, JQ back with Tech Creation, where I use technology for recreation. So unlike the AirPods, the Powerbeats Pro is Apple's attempt to compete with earbuds that actually sound good. With a steep price tag of $250, I had to pick these up to see what they were all about. So let's not waste any time. Alright, so starting with the case, this is the biggest, bulkiest case that I've dealt with. It's the complete opposite from everything else that I've tested so far. I mean, it takes up my entire hand. It's not exactly portable or pocket friendly at all. I mean, it fits in the pocket, but it's just not comfortable. You definitely want to plan your wardrobe ahead of time if you decide to take these out. Now, you can just leave the house without the case if you really wanted to, thanks to its built-in motion accelerometer that detects whenever the earbuds are idle and not moving. Then it enters sleep mode that slows down the battery drain, losing only 2.5% per hour. So you can't exactly turn these off since there's no off button, but that's always an option, and I'll talk more about the battery towards the end. Taking a look around the case, we have just a standard lightning port that's for charging, the Beats logo that's front and center, and that's about it. I mean, there's not much going on here. It's a simple, straightforward design. I gotta say that my biggest complaint is that the case features no wireless charging, which is kind of a bummer considering it's an Apple product and it came out right after the AirPods 2, which do have wireless charging. So at the time of this video, it's only available in black, but colors navy, ivory, and moss will soon be available. So if you want to hold out a little longer, I'll definitely recommend those because I think those look a lot better than just a simple plain black. Now, when it came to the opening and closing of the case, it's not exactly a one-handed opener. Again, that's due to the size. It definitely requires two hands, and then at that point it opens pretty easy. And the magnets on the lids keep the case nice and tight when it's shut. And when you first open it up, the process of pairing it is identical to the AirPods setup. You just hold it close to your iPhone and the Powerbeats Pro animation shows up, and then you just hit connect and that's it. You're all set. So if you know how to use the AirPods, then you know how to use the Powerbeats Pro. In fact, it's using the same H1 chip as the AirPods, so you're also getting that improved connection along with the hands-free Hey Siri support, which is obviously iPhone exclusive and not supported on Android, which, speaking of, if you want to pair the Powerbeats Pro to an Android device, the setup is not as fancy, it's more traditional. So while both of the earbuds are inside the case, you just press and hold that flush button in the center until the pulse is white. That puts it in pairing mode, and then you just select it from your settings and you're done. Now, I like the way the earbuds sit inside the case. It's definitely different from what we usually see, but just remember to align the earbud tips in that center gap, and that causes those metal contacts to align with each other inside the case, and the magnets will snatch them in place, and that's how they begin charging. And when the case is plugged in charging, it'll remain solid red until it's fully charged, which at that point it'll shut off. Now, taking a look around the earbuds themselves, they are water and sweat resistant, so this hook is made of like this flexible rubber, while the rest of the body is plastic. And usually on some earbuds, one of them will do something that the other one cannot, but with the Powerbeats Pro, both of them behave identically. From the up and down volume buttons up top, the tiny microphones on both the top and bottom, the sensors that are used for autoplay, all the way to the buttons themselves. My subconscious isn't occupied with having to remember which one does what. They just both do what I need them to do at all times. Therefore, you can't customize any of the functions like you can with the AirPods. Pretty much what you see is what you get. There's literally only one setting, and that's the automatic ear detection, which, for those of you who are unfamiliar, this goes a step beyond just pausing and resuming playback whenever you remove and replace them from your ears, but it actually routes the audio to your device's speaker whenever they're outside your ears. And I just can't stress how much I love that feature and how well thought out that was on Apple's part. Now, the Beats button on either earbud is used for the standard controls for play, pause, and for skipping tracks, with the usual double tap to skip forward and a triple tap for previous tracks. And I just love the fact that these use physical buttons instead of touch sensitive ones, for the simple fact that they're just so much more tactile, which makes multiple presses seamless. Now, one minor complaint I have about the Beats buttons is that it only supports Siri. Period. So when paired up to an Android device, you can't even use any other digital voice assistant like Bixby, Google, or Alexa. So I do think that's kind of trash, but then again, I'm not surprised because it's Apple. Now, in terms of the design, I honestly think this is more of an old school design. I mean, it's kind of modern, but I think it's just the hooks that gives me this old school Bluetooth headset vibes. But the upside is that it definitely sets itself apart from current earbuds with a more sporty look. And I would say in that respect, it serves its purpose, because as far as comfort is concerned, I would definitely toss these in there as one of the most comfortable earbuds that I've ever worn. It's literally a perfect fit for my ears, and that's honestly the best way that I could describe it. The only thing I would say is that yes, they're comfortable, but they're not comfortable to the point where your senses forget about them. You definitely still know that they're there because those hooks are hugging your ear. You can't just casually rock these for style like you can with the AirPods. So if you ever like just chilling out and you don't have anything playing, you kind of just want to take these off after a while. Also, an important note for those of you who wear glasses, they're definitely going to get in the way of each other. The frames and the hooks are going to be fighting for ear space. So what I recommend is that you put the Powerbeats on first and then rest your glasses right on top of it. I don't really need to wear my glasses, but I can't imagine for those of you who depend on glasses how this could be annoying with day-to-day usage and might even be a deal breaker for some of you, which I wouldn't blame you. Now, I did take these to the gym, and this is where those hooks really begin to make sense. That and the fact that this round piece somewhat anchors in your ear canal, providing additional support. Not once that I feel like they were gonna come out. No amount of movement or facial expressions caused shifting of any kind. I mean, not even close. I felt completely secure the entire time wearing them. You definitely won't have to worry about these falling out. After my workout, just a little bit of sweat collected around the hook, and it was just a matter of simply wiping it off, and that's it. No damage, no issues, no concerns, all is good. Now, to elaborate, these are water resistant, not waterproof. So sweat and rain would be just fine, but don't go swimming with these. Otherwise, you're gonna have to buy another pair of earbuds. Now, as far as the sound quality is concerned, the silicone tips that came out the box didn't give me my desired amount of bass. So I just jumped straight to the biggest ones, and I mean, wow, what a difference. Talk about beats. It's so important to get that nice seal around my ear, and the sound profile is right up my alley. It stays true to what Beats are historically known for, strong in the bass department, and it's actually that smooth bass. It's not overpowering or muddy. Vocals are clear, and the highs complement the low end very well in my opinion. Now, you might have to raise it up just a little bit to really appreciate that full balanced sound, and they do get loud, but I would say that kicks in at around 80 to 85%, which I find to be the sweet spot. And I didn't hear any distortion when listening at high volumes, and I think that hip hop and R&B works best for these kind of earbuds. The only downside is that there's no noise canceling support, which I think would have did a lot of justice for these. But I say that because even though the silicone tips do block out some outside noise, it's still not immune to the outside world, causing me to crank my music even louder in an attempt to drown out all the construction noise, traffic, and just everyday outside noises. Now, transitioning over to phone conversations, everyone I spoke to had an issue hearing me with these earbuds. And I guess that has a lot to do with the microphone placement, since they're not exactly angled towards your mouth. So maybe that has something to do with it. But you guys let me know and you be the judge of how this sounds right now. These right here are the battery kings when it comes to truly wireless earbuds. Hands down the best battery life of any earbuds that I've tried. On a single charge, you can get a whopping 9 hours of playback time and 6 hours of talk time, which is about 3 to 4 hours of more listening time than the current competition. What's even better is that the case supports fast fuel charging, where only 5 minutes of charging will give you an hour and a half of listening time. So that's freaking fantastic. And the case itself provides an additional 1.5 charges, giving you a combined 24 hours of listening time when both of them are fully charged. After spending an hour with these in the gym, listening to music at about 80% volume, it only dropped from 100% to 93%. So at that rate, 9 hours of playback actually sounds about right. Stretching that out over the course of a few days, whenever I do go to charge them, it's only a partial charge. It's never like from 0 to 100, but more like from 80 to 100, 50 to 100. So it never draws that much power from the case per charge. And it took me an entire week, 7 days, to finally drain out the case. That's why I say that wireless charging, or lack thereof, is not really that big of a deal when it comes to the Powerbeats Pro. I don't think these would be my everyday earbuds, simply because number one, I'm not an athlete, and number two, I just prefer a much lower profile when it comes to earbuds, much more discreet look, like the Galaxy Buds for example. And the price of these is a bit steep for me, so for 250 bucks, it'd be hard for me to say yes, run out and go buy these right now. And I think the return on investment for the Powerbeats Pro is just more focused workouts and not have to subconsciously worry about all these extra settings and features. So if that's something that's important to you, then I think these are a great long-term solution for those very active folks out there who don't really care about upgrading earbuds every year. Great sound, comfort, and reliable battery. So let me know by dropping those comments down below if I helped you make a decision, and if you're looking to pick these up for yourself, and also how do you feel about this price point. As always, if you enjoyed this video, show me some love by pressing that like button, and if this is your first time on the channel, you already know what to do. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on the alerts. This way YouTube notifies you whenever I drop another awesome tech video. As always, I want to thank each and every one of you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Peace out.